Today is February 27th, 2022. I have a testimony to give. I was on the mountain skiing today with my daughter. And we were at this terrain park. And it was towards the end of the day. And we did this terrain park multiple times because my daughter loves it. And so I just followed her into this terrain park. And I was getting pretty good at it, for a bit. So I got overly confident, and in the last run, I made a huge jump and crashed really bad. I was wearing a helmet, so thankfully, it hit my helmet instead of my head, but my shoulder got popped. I later on went to the hospital, and they told me that it's a torn AC. It's a ligament that got torn, so maybe surgery needs to be done on it. And this was an old injury that I had. It was not a torn AC, but my right shoulder had always been painful. It was an old injury. So needless to say, after the injury, I was very short on fuse. And I was blaming on my daughter. I'm blaming on my daughter for it, even though I was saying to her, it's not your fault. Don't worry about it. I'm not blaming you. But deep down in my heart, I was angry at her. I was bitter. I was angry because I was in pain. I was in pain, and I blame it on her. And after the hospital, I came back, and we were just sitting in the hot tub, and I was still had this resentment harboring inside my heart towards my daughter. And I was not talking to her. I was just looking up at the sky and praying to God. I said, God, tell me why you let this happen to me. Why? Were you angry at me for doing this, for coming to ski? Because it is, I feel like it's such luxury thing to do. Such a non-Christian thing to do. But I was thinking, am I not pleasing to God? Is that why? And within 20 seconds after I proposed that question, God revealed the answer to me, which he didn't have to. He didn't have to explain himself, but he chose to, out of his mercy. And for anyone who is going through suffering, I believe it's going to help you tremendously. Last night, I was reading Brother Yun's book, The Heavenly Man. The chapters on how he was tortured. He fasted, both water and food, for 78 days in 1984 in China, in Chinese prison. He was tortured beyond imagination. And he did that all for Jesus Christ. All for Jesus Christ. For anyone who is interested, who has a stomach for it, go read Brother Yun's testimony, The Heavenly Man, the book. And I was so in awe of the tremendous suffering that Brother Yun went through. And that was just last night. I read those 2 chapters last night. And while I was sitting in the hot tub, I asked God, why you let me get injured? God revealed, said, is to make up for the suffering that all believers need to go through. If you are a true believer of Jesus Christ, if you follow him, you will go through suffering. Doesn't matter who you are. If God let Jesus Christ suffer on the cross, he's not going to spare anyone. Jesus is his son. He was flogged, he was tortured, he was sinless, and he got nailed on the cross. If God let his son suffer, he's not going to spare any one of us. So far, I've lived a very easy life compared to Brother Yun, compared to Brother Michael Criswell. It's what a blessing I count myself to live in America. Such to be able to ski with my daughter, what a wonderful God that we serve. But imagine if we make it to heaven or on the judgment day. The devil is going to accuse, saying, you let your son Jesus Christ suffer that much. You let Brother Yun suffer so much. You let Brother Michael suffer so much. And you let this guy, Jim, off the hook so easily. You call yourself a fair God. So God revealed that to me, is to make up for the suffering that we all need to go through. And this is nothing. I'm sure that, more is going to come. But that just, what an answering of prayer. And that just turned my angry heart towards my daughter into this grateful heart. I thanked her to listen to God, to put me into that situation. So give me the chance to suffer for Jesus. And even this trip, this whole ski trip was, what the objective is to testify for Jesus. I had, I'll show you on both of my helmet and my daughter's helmet, we have this Jesus Lives sign. And the ski resort we come to, nobody, there's pretty much, I've never seen anybody, in ski resorts testifying for Jesus. So this trip is a testifying trip, it's a trip of testimony. And we met several brothers and sisters in Christ, struck up a conversation, to share with them the love of God. So any suffering that we go through, it's for the Lord. And I thank him for it. I thank him for it. And anyone who is, if you're a true believer, if you truly belong to Jesus Christ, and if you're going through pain and suffering and sickness, if you get cancer, I know it's hard for you to hear this right now, but think about it. You are making up for the suffering that's required for every follower of Jesus Christ. So I just hope this message reaches you. I feel this blessing is not only for me. I now embrace this pain, this torn AC. I thank God. I'm grateful to God for it. So God bless you, brothers and sisters. May Jesus be with you.